let me ask this question. It's not pure military. Do you think that this entire gamut of events that has unfolded in the last 72 hours is also a result of Munir's own ambition to stay a little longer than he should in Pakistan Army? Is that play an important part, sir?
Absolutely, Karthikeya. What has not come out is the fact that Munir is a isolated man within his own service, within his own army. First of all, people should know that he's not from the regular army cadre. He is from an adjunct cadre, and therefore being accepted among his people, among his team itself, is a major challenge for him. This issue of the May 9th of May, which Aditya brought out, was very important. It demonstrated his lack of hold over the Pakistan army as such in that particular time. And therefore, he's trying to overcome that challenge. And in September, his term terminates. He, like any other Pakistan army chief, Bajwa also was stayed for 6 years. This, with the recent amendment, Munir can stay till 5 years, extended till 5 years. Actually, he can stay even beyond if he's got complete control over the Pakistan army. But I think somehow, somewhere, things are not very good inside the Pakistan army at the moment. Asim Munir may be trying to actually show his radical nature to a great extent to try and extend his hold over the Pakistan army. We are aware that the Pakistan army, ever since the time of General Zia, has got radicalized to a large extent. And therefore, there is a tremendous support for those who are of a radical nature. Even if you remember, General Bajwa could not go beyond a point. General Bajwa was not radicalized. He was in every time in the Islamabad dialogue, General Bajwa always spoke of the need for Pakistan to find peace with India if it had to progress as a nation economically. That kind of a statement we never find from Asim Munir. Asim Munir is therefore only looking for feathering his own nest, and that absolutely, I agree with you, beyond September, an extension is something which he's seeking.
Admiral, there is one more important aspect in this entire play. For the first time, it was reported that the Turkish warships, they were berthed near Gwadar. I mean to say, there was a lot of talk about it. Should that be taken seriously in terms of larger cooperation between Turkey and Pakistan?
Turkey and Pakistan have had a historical relationship, and particularly in the defense field. So I think it's no surprise that Turkey has been more sympathetic towards Pakistan than other countries. However, Turkey itself is not a hardline Islamic state, even though the current president has a slight leaning towards that. It's a very moderate Islamic state, and it has its own delusions of getting back to the grandeur that its empire had a couple of centuries ago. So I think their ships being in Gwadar, and ships cannot move like aircraft, within a couple of hours. It takes time, particularly for them to come through the Mediterranean, from the Mediterranean to this area. So I think this would have been a pre-planned trip. The fact is that I think it is the fact that they visited Gwadar is also not entirely surprising, because Pakistan is trying to bring up that port, which has not succeeded. It's in debt to China. The China-Pakistan economic corridor, China has invested $60 billion. And the fulcrum of this entire CPEC is Gwadar. But Gwadar has no traffic at all since it has been constructed. The only traffic it has is for its own construction purposes. So I think too much should not be read into that. And even if they are there, it's inconsequential as far as India is concerned. I would like to remind you that actually in 1965, the Indonesian president at that time had sent 2 warships and a submarine to Karachi to support Pakistan in their fight against India at that stage, because Sukarno and Nehru had a falling out in the late 1950s. So I happened to be the defense attaché in Indonesia, and I met one of the commanders of that ship, who was an old man then, and I asked him what did he do. He said nothing. We just went to the harbor and we sat there, and we felt very foolish, and we came back after the war ended. So I think it is not even symbolic. It's just a coincidence that these ships are there.
Absolutely. But Aditya, there is another aspect to it. A lot of agencies were reporting that Operation Sindhur continues. Can you put some light on it? Is Operation Sindhur active?
The former army chief put a
Yes.
tweet which you also mentioned here. Abhi picture baki hai. And obviously I can't reveal and I can't even claim to show on the television that I know anything. This government and armed forces are not known for revealing anything, and rightly so. That's not how operations work. But I can tell you that the preparedness with which the Indian security establishment, the armed forces are presently, along with the tri-service and the intelligence agencies, is much, 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 much better than 2016 and 2019. There's a lot of course correction, there are a lot of learnings that have happened, and I personally, I'm glad because, I've gone all across the country from Army College in Mao to Internal Security Academy in Mount Abu, and I'm sure General Hasnain has been doing much more, 100% much more than me, and we have been speaking about information warfare, narrative, where our gaps are, where we need to fill those gaps, and I'm glad that this time, on every parameter, we have stood out and we have done the right things. I mean, look at the kind of narrative that was built up with that clip, a very powerful emotional clip that was played even before the press conference began, on the terror attacks that have happened and how India has been a victim for the last 3 decades. Then Vikram Misri, a Kashmiri Pundit, might I add, a Kashmiri holding that press conference with two, with no disrespect, junior female officers of the Indian Army and the Indian Air Force, and they are conducting, I mean, look at the parallels. DG ISPR at that place in Pakistan is holding this propaganda press conference, and here we have two brave, bold, educated, officers of the Indian Army and the Indian Air Force conducting the press conference, and this time we have visual proof. Now,